Welcome, everyone. This is the 2025 OpenNTF Annual General Meeting, and we've got some members of the board with us today. Our agenda today, we're going to get through some introductions, and I'll give a quick report on sort of the state of the nation for the last 12 months. We can give the community an update on our finances, and then our working groups are going to have some quick reports. And after that, we'll get into any opportunity for folks to give us their feedback. So jumping into it, David Habowitz on our call today is our newest member of the board this year. And a shout out to everybody who has been around for the long haul. If I jump to the bottom, our good colleague Sardar has been around the longest, been volunteering his time for the community the longest as a member of the board. Jesse, I think everybody knows. And then everybody else has been tenured, as you can see here. And I think, a very quick note about the board. We've been saying this for a while now, but to understand, the board isn't OpenNTF. The board merely are the people who have volunteered to help shepherd the community along. But OpenNTF is everybody that answers a question, asks a question, shares some code, downloads some code, joins a conversation and shares what they know, learns from each other. We're all OpenNTF, and merely the people on the board are the ones who kind of put the time in to make sure that everything is running. So a big thank you to everyone from the board. My report, a couple of quick slides here. Just in terms of statistics, we started showing some statistics last year, and I know it's happened previously, but it hasn't happened for a while. Anyway, on a positive note, our project downloads are up significantly compared to last year. Last year we were at about 19,000. So that's very interesting to see that people are coming to our projects repository, dated that it is, and are still finding value there. So that's wonderful to see. As well as growth of our Discord channel. Actually, I should look and see. Oh, I don't have it. But last I checked, which was only a couple of days ago, we're up to 927 members, which is fantastic to see the growth year over year, as it is the place to come and ask your questions, find out, share, answer questions. And interestingly enough, I even had the experience yesterday in the dev channel where I was working on an old piece of, or an old app for a client and expanding it, and managed to figure out that the outline control in the notes client is missing something that I think is of value. So kind of tooting my own horn here, but to have the outline act as an accordion. You pick a menu option and all the other menu options should close automatically, which we have in Xpages and all kinds of web technologies, but we don't have in the notes client. So I was able to ask that question in Discord, had a couple of people chime in, figure out that I think it's not there, and turned around and created an aha idea, which I then shared through Discord for other people to vote up. So the way that the community works is working, I guess is the easiest way to say it. Moving on from that, we were doing Hangouts and before that repair cafes a couple of years ago, and finding sort of limited participation. So we're looking for an opportunity to transition that to something else, and very fortuitously had HCL get in touch with us, John Paganetti, and ask about the idea of hosting what we're calling open mic sessions, but it's essentially the equivalent of Ask the Developers at Lotusphere for those of us that have go back a while. And so this is an opportunity for us to host a monthly kind of gathering where the actual people from HCL who are writing the code and designing the solutions, and even the product managers who are deciding on what the features and functionality should be, join online for people in the community to come and ask questions. We've done 4 so far this year. They've been really successful. The most recent one, the most successful by far, on just the new features of Domino 14.5. It was really good. So those are things that we're able to work in conjunction with HCL to bring to the community. A couple of other stats. YouTube views are down, interestingly enough. And in fact, when I was looking at the stats, videos from last year and the year before are coming in as still being of value to people and still being viewed, equivalent along with what we have from videos that we've been posting this year. So while the overall viewership is down, the content is still strong and people are still finding value from it. We also found our snippets downloads are lagging compared to last year, which I don't think is a great surprise. There haven't been a huge number of snippets contributed, but we're just keeping track of those stats year over year. So that's kind of what the last year has been. Generally speaking, in terms of what OpenNTF can do to help serve the community, I think we're all aware that there are people who are leaving the product. Interestingly enough, and this is another value of Discord, we saw just a couple of weeks ago in the general channel there was some normal conversation going on, but there was a young person jumped in and said, "Is there anybody else in this community that's under the age of 30?" And a couple of people chimed in and said, "Yeah, I've been doing this for 3 years. I've been doing this for 5 years. I'm really finding OpenNTF and Discord very helpful," which is really encouraging to see. Because overall, I don't think it's any kind of a surprise. We're not seeing the number of people show up to things that we put on compared to years past, and we're also not seeing contributions like we did in the past. And again, that's no surprise. But we're constantly asking ourselves in terms of how we can help serve the community. How do people find what they need? How can we help people contribute? How can we encourage people to join in and say, "Hey, I've got this idea. Is anybody else interested in this? And can we, jump in together and write some code?" And we're still asking that question, and we still want to see what people think. That certainly in terms of younger developers, GitHub is the place to be, and we've talked for a long time about doing more to sort of integrate between our classic projects repository and GitHub. And that's not to say that we don't use GitHub, because we absolutely do. And Jesse could talk your ear off about integration and how all of that works, and it works well. So it's not to say that we're a bunch of old folks that don't know how to use the new tools. We absolutely do, but it's a matter of trying to bridge that gap and how we can help make it easy for people to share what they know. And if they got a little piece of code that made something work, we'd love to be able to share that with the community. I'll go back to something that David Leedy had said years and years and years ago, which is, it doesn't matter if somebody has already shared the thing that you want to talk about, because seeing the same thing from a different perspective might help somebody learn something that they read before but didn't understand. So it's never a bad thing to share something that somebody has also shared if you see it from a different perspective. So as a board, we're open to that feedback, looking for people to let us know, and we want to, we're here and have the resources to be able to make those things happen. I mentioned open mic. This again is something that is developing. We're working with John at HCL on a fairly regular basis on what the topics might be. So for those that have seen the open mic and are wondering if a particular topic might be coming up, get in touch with us and ask. We can float it by John and or let you know that we have something already coming up. But it can trigger different ideas for different topics that we can bring. So that's something that I think is just evolving and becoming better, and something that we want to continue doing. The monthly webinars, again, a strength of OpenNTF for the last 5 years plus. Roberto on our board has done a heck of a lot of work to fill the backlog. We're to the point where we're into next year now for planned webinars. And we've talked a lot about, does it make sense for a particular topic to be a webinar, or should we just do it as a video and post it? We've got a really significant archive on our YouTube channel. All of those links are available on our webinars page. And as I said before, we're seeing webinars from last year that are getting equal number of views during the last 12 months compared to some of the webinars that we're doing this year. So those topics are relevant even going back several years. And we see good presentations. We saw a great, I believe it was Keith that saw a great presentation at Engage, and talked to the presenter and said, "Hey, do you want to do a webinar? Would you like to do, just record it as a video and post it up on our YouTube page?" We're able to bring those resources to bear. So, and if you have never done something like that and are interested in doing something like that, let us know. We're happy to help facilitate that stuff and give people the opportunity to talk about something that they think is important and they'd like to share with the community. Another thing that we've been working on in conjunction with a couple of long-standing members of the community is a topic that's near and dear to David's heart, which is the loss of the notes.net server that used to exist back in the Lotus days as a place for, at that time, Lotus and then IBM to be able to share different things like the fixed list database. And so we've had Daniele Vistale and Daniel Nasha do a bunch of work to build a server that is intended to be available for the community in a similar vein. It's certainly outside of HCL, but at the same time, sort of in conjunction with. And we're wanting to just make a notes server that you access with a notes client available that has different resources that should be shared with the community. And one of the best examples of that is the notes.ini reference database, something that Rudy Connecton and Bruce Lill built a long time ago. And we've had contributions from several different people who have their own notes.ini reference databases, and we want to consolidate that all down and put it together. So the content is there. The big challenge now is verifying that those settings actually work still Domino 14.5, or we know it worked in Domino 9 and it doesn't work in Domino 10. Make all of that kind of stuff of value and relevance to the community, and could really use the community's help to do that kind of thing. This is one of those things where it's sort of like, no, the board will take care of it. It's like, well, we're all working too, and we're all just volunteers. So when it comes to these kinds of projects, it isn't the responsibility of the board. We're just community members like everybody else in this regard anyway. So even if you want to grab, I don't know, one setting per month and take the time to test and verify that it works or that it doesn't work, that would be the kind of thing that would be an easy contribution for the community. You would learn something and you would meet people. If you're new to the community, we all don't bite. We're pretty friendly people, love to sit down and have a beer and have a chat about different stuff. So if that's something that you want to get involved in, please do let us know. But the OpenNTF.net server is documented on our website, and we have a YouTube video about it. You can go off and search for that information. And we're set up to essentially cross-certify your Notes ID, which will give you access to the server, and then you can have a look in there. Right now it's pretty basic. There's not a lot of stuff there. We're looking to build that over time, and we'll look for input from the community on what we can do further there too. I'll stop talking. Keith, go ahead.
Thanks, Graham. So from the screen, you've got the basic information of what we had over the past year. We have $2 in interest income, which basically is because we didn't have any contributions from HCL since 2020. But on the flip side, we do spend somewhere around $3,000 to $4,000 a year. In this case, it was a little over $3,000 on sponsorships for different user groups and functions that go on with those. And then we have our general fees, webinar fees, domain fees, corporate fees, lawyers, etc., those kind of things, taxes. Looking at 2025, at the moment, we've requested funding from HCL, but we have no confirmation at the moment. We are looking at possibly doing webinar sponsorships and some other aspects of sponsorships that would allow different people or different partners or different groups to be able to not just obviously get their information posted and shared, but also help us to alleviate some of the costs going forward that we may have, because obviously we don't have a unlimited amount of money going forward. So if anybody does have the interest to look at sponsoring something and find out what's involved in that and what benefits you will get, please feel free to reach out specifically to me or Graham, as both of us will be handling that for the moment.
Good stuff. Contributor relations is Jesse's area.
Yeah, so I mean, it's no secret that we don't have as many projects as we did in the heyday, but I was just checking, and we had 22 releases since around this time last year, which is about twice as many as we had the previous year, so that's good. And we've had a couple new projects, we've had some new contributors, so while things are not, it's not going gangbuster as such, things are trending in the right direction. We have some activity. It's nice to see. So we've been doing that. It's still, and then along these lines, it's still one of the medium to long term goals of smoothing out the process for signing up. I mean, it's a little non-obvious about the CLA process, but we want to get that smoothed out just to make it easier to upload these things. That stuff's still in the works, but nonetheless, it's good to see. It's good to see new stuff coming in, new projects, and new participants. So. Again, not huge boost, but still up, and I'll take that as a win.
Good, thanks. Community outreach, this is yours, Sudar. I think I've probably stolen the thunder there, but feel free to add what you like.
Yeah, as you said before, we ended Hangouts and Repair Cafes, and Open Mic replaced that activity with a huge success, I guess. The reception is very positive. And we have organized 4 open mics so far with ACL developers. That was brilliant. I would also like to talk about Discord. As you said, like there's a growth there. Many of you will remember that. I mean, finding the right instant chat platform has been quite a journey for years. Like we tried Skype, Slack. Even at some point, we tried Watson chat services. Mm-hmm. Eventually, we landed on Discord a few years ago. And looking back, I mean, I think it's fair to say Discord has been a real success for OpenNTF, especially we have over 900 members, dedicated channels covering everything from X pages to connections, and it's became a great space for community to ask questions, like get help, support each other, and share ideas. Especially last December, if you remember the infamous Friday the 13th bug hit, that showed a great value for the platform. I mean, Discord was buzzing with updates and like solutions stuff and communication. Of course, it helped many of us to stay in the loop and helped us to find quick fixes. I think it's safe to say that OpenNTF Board is really pleased with how community has reacted to Discord, how they embrace Discord, let's say. If you haven't joined any conversation yet, it's time. It's definitely time. It's late. If you want to consider chipping in, you can easily boost the server and you can have a contribution in the Discord channel. It belongs to every one of us right now. It's great to it's a great way to support the community. And yeah.
Thank you. Roberto handles webinars, as I had mentioned earlier. We've actually had 15 in the last 12 months. And, for anybody that's been around, we like to do one a month. But in some cases, we've had great content or presenter schedules have dictated that we do more than one a month, and we're totally open to doing that. The more the merrier to be able to share with the community. And obviously, some months are a little slower than others, but the content remains very solid. and diverse too. I think for people who are in the community, OpenNTF really started as a place for devs to geek out, but really OpenNTF serves everybody, whether you're an admin, a developer, an end user, even CIOs. It's kind of the place to dig into stuff. And so when Roberto joined the board as essentially one of the very first, or at least in recent history, one of the first admins to join the board, he's made it kind of a rule to make sure that there's admin content that is equally represented in the webinars. And perhaps it should be no shock to anyone that the admin webinars tend to be better attended than the dev webinars, which is really kind of cool. Anyway, as I said earlier, we've got a good backlog and certainly have the means and the tools to help people be able to share their message. So if there's something you want to do, even if it's a short one, there's some, our time slots are 90 minutes, but that doesn't mean that we can't have 3 different presenters if you got 20 minutes worth of content, and we can put 3 together of a similar nature. So let us know if you want to do a webinar, you want to maybe just even try. Happy to help. And then social media outreach. This is something that's been in our backlog for a couple of years. We've been trying different tools. This is something that Heiko has been leading for us. But one of the things that we recognize over the last while is the challenge of getting your message out. Certainly in a world where there are so many different places to go to get information, and not everybody is on Discord, not everybody is on Facebook. So how do we find ways to easily get our message out? And Heiko's been working on some tooling that allows us to touch multiple different channels quickly and easily to be able to share that message. I know he's frustrated that it's taken longer than he would have liked, but we are making progress, and hopefully we'll be in a position where we can, as I say, very quickly and easily share the message out of the different events and activities that are going on in the community, so that we can, make sure more people know about them. Board projects. Jesse, do you want to say anything about the new website?
Not much to say. It's plugging along. It's, it is, one of the main uses of it, aside from being a new website, is that it's going to be a poster child for the Jakarta EE project. And so as that, I've made a couple of improvements to that project for the purposes of making the website better. So, but here and there I plug along. I would still love more volunteers, because we've had a couple people express interest, but we haven't had a coordinated project for it yet. But anybody interested in pitching in, I would absolutely welcome that. It would keep the ball rolling more than it's rolling now, which is, it's going, but it's going slowly.
Yeah, and I think that's true of a lot. This board projects, in my time on the board, we've had several different ideas and initiatives that we've tried to get launched. And quite frankly, some of them have failed primarily because we haven't had participation. So it's one of those things where certainly we respect that everybody's being asked to do more with less time, and we've all got different priorities in our lives. So that's not a bad thing, right? It's just, it is what it is. And sadly, a few of the things that I think were good ideas just haven't launched as a result of nobody having the time to work on them. The one that's new on the list here that I mentioned earlier is this notes.ini variable verification. So that's something that we want to try and work through over the next year. I don't know, sooner than that. I know there are people motivated to have it done sooner, but I think the last time I checked, there were over 6,000 parameters in the database, so that's going to take some time. But anyway, those are things that we have that we're focused on right now. That we'd like to see some folks from the community join and even just make a tiny contribution. It'll move things forward. And lastly, just some, before we get to questions, some notes about what's coming up. So we have our annual elections in September. And so if anybody was interested in putting their hand up and being a volunteer on the board, Positions are available either in 1-year or 2-year terms, and we've got the 2-year folks on the board staggered so that there's always some changeover. So if you are interested, keep your eyes open. In September, we post that's elections time. It's a fairly easy process, not complicated at all. And if anybody has any questions about how that works, reach out to any of us on the board. We can answer your questions. And then, as per usual, let us know what you think. What are we doing well? What could we be doing better? What ideas do you have that you don't see OpenNTF doing? And let us know. We're, as I said before, we've got the resources and the availability to help put things in motion, and reach out to the community to draw people in to work on whatever ideas you've got. But in terms of it maybe is more of a question of what's holding you back from asking those questions or reaching out. And if it's something to do with you not being comfortable kind of raising your hand, again, we're easy to talk to, happy to share what we know, happy to listen to your ideas, and offer suggestions. And we're always looking to make things easier. So please do reach out and let us know how we can help. And also, even just anecdotally, jump into Discord and put it into the chat. We're very interested to know about where you go for education. How can we change that, make it better, create those bridges and connections, so that it is easier for people to learn to do what they're trying to do. At this point, we're in a position for questions, but I'll open it up to the board first if anybody on the call has anything else they'd like to add. And otherwise, I'm going to go over, I don't have any chat messages, and we don't have a questions panel, do we? No, we don't. There's a questions panel in the webinars. Okay, if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute and ask away. Eric, I see you there. Thank you for joining. You got a question?
No, I don't. I wasn't sure actually about who is expected to show up at this meeting, so I was just curious and therefore listening in the background. So
wonderful. Well, thank you for joining.
Yeah.
All right. Well then, I think let's keep it short and sweet. We'll post this up onto YouTube for people to review, and we can carry on the discussion in Discord. If folks have questions, please join us there and let us know what you're thinking. Otherwise, thanks to everybody on the board, and I wish everybody else a good day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.